My name is Jay Siegmann. You are watching Wild Lioness's Pride. My pronouns are they and them, and this is a video edition of my pod where the music becomes connection. A NaPoWriMo-Inspired reflection on music, poetry, and becoming. There are moments when music is something we listen to. It is something we live inside. It finds the places words cannot reach and opens them, gently like a sunrise slipping under your closed eyelids. One evening during a live concert, tucked in between rain and the first trembling light of dawn, I found myself floating, not alone but together with kindred spirits beside me. We didn't know each other before the music began, and we didn't need to, because the first notes stitched us into the same breath, the same shimmering wave of sound. The rain outside and inside tapped a rhythm no hand had written, and the steel around us. You will see it in the video of this first opening song named Rain, and I have included some photos. The rain outside tapped a rhythm no hand had written, and the steel around us carried these vibrations, singing along with a very own special language. And with echoes and flight, it was a very ethereal moment. So in that space, connection suddenly was effortless, and if music had carved a canyon wide enough for all the unspoken stories between us, they flowed freely. Below are two poems born from that night, the reflections of what it means to float together inside music, to belong to a moment, not just to yourself, but to a sound, a morning, a stranger becoming a friend. And it was inspired by a NaPoWriMo prompt of today, April 25th, that asked us to write a poem where we relate to being at a live concert, and writing this as an act of poetry and recounting this experience. And when I actually read this prompt, I was immediately drawn in and remembered that unplugged concert of Martina Slewicki's master accordionist at the Lippe & Co. International Festival in the halls of the steel retailers Mecklenburg and Swarovski in Hanover, Germany at June 9th, 2024. Sound woven through steel. The first note rose, not from the stage, not from a place, but from everywhere, all at once, as if the air itself remembered how to sing. The steel rods, silent giants, holding breath in the shadows, took the music into their bones, let it tumble, scatter, rain against the walls in bright, accidental patterns. When Martina Slewicki's played, I did not hear, I became. The accordion, a breathing creature, pulled sound from the deep places where longing meets grace and fed it back to the room in great shimmering waves. The ground did not tremble, no, it cradled. The steel did not clang, it held each tone like cupped hands under water, letting music flow through fingers without ever breaking it. The first piece was Rain. It fell in invisible threads against my skin, finding every pore, every memory, until I could no longer tell where my body ended and the sound began. The stranger sat beside me, but by the third note she was no stranger at all. We nodded small smiles, the kind that know, yes, you feel it too. The music carried us not forward, not back, but inward, like rain drawn into thirsty earth, like light bending into prismed color. There were moments when my ribs forgot to armor themselves, when my heart rang out, pure and unhidden. I thought of all the roads I had followed because others drew them for me, thought of the narrowness I'd once mistaken for safety. And here, in this forge of sound, I allowed the tears, the aching beauty, the wild wish to live differently. It was not just music. It was not just a concert. It was an undoing, a remaking, an invitation. May you be the creator of your own life. Later, waiting in the cool night air, I did Qigong on the empty train platform. The earth turned beneath me, the stars blinked their approval. I toasted the evening with a simple meal, a sip of wine, and the quite certain knowing that something inside me had changed. And that change sounded exactly like rain falling on steel. I read then today's prompt in Miguel as Substack, the fiction dealer. I immediately thought again at the first poem, and the experience at that concert truly felt like floating, because microdosing fiction, the prompt for today was floating. 70 words for floating. So here is the second poem, Floating Together. The first short rose, and we were already floating. Not alone, side by side, two hearts stitched into music's press. Rain tapped its rhythm on the steel, the dawn stirred inside us, soft and new. We looked, not speaking, knowing. The music gathered us, folded us into some shimmering wave. In that sound, in that moment, we belonged to the music, to the morning, to something vaster than ourselves. And while those are already music related, I'd like to share my music related poem of yesterday. That followed the prompt of yesterday for the National Poet Writers Month, and it asked us to tell a story of writing a poem that involves people making music together and that references with a lyric or a line, a song or a poem that is important to you. And I had just read Gloria Horton-Young's Substack, Hallelujah in the Streets. Listen, people, my people. And it was such a passionate poem, a continuation of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, that I thought, well, if there is people making music, bringing music together for the people, and a hymn, then it is that. And so I created Hallelujahs We Carry after Leonard Cohen and Gloria Horton-Young. We came with nothing but our feet, no banners raised, no drums to beat, but voices raw from shouting through the years. The asphalt hummed beneath our soles, like bass lines pulled from battered souls. We sang through grief, we sang through tears, and even if it all fell through, we still would sing a hallelujah. She brought a sign, you wore a scar, I lit a candle near a car. We circled close in trembling harmony. Someone whispered, here's a crack. And sure enough the sky fought back. But still we stood like rooted symphony, because the broken truth is true, and in our bones lives hallelujah. A man near Fort Sumter struck a chord. A child from Boston spoke a word, and every line we carried lit a way. From Gettysburg to Ellis Island, we walked in rhythm, mile by mile, with Gloria's voice as a call, our own as stay. And though afraid, we still pushed through. Our courage sung hallelujah. Leonard song once knelt and wept, but now it marches, now it steps. It braids with fists and flowers in the street. The quiet chords, the holy notes, rise with our breath, caught in our throats, each syllable a vow we won't delete. Not for the powerful, not for the few. This fight, this fire, this hallelujah. Thank you so much, Gloria, for your continued effort to mobilize your people. Love you all. Thank you.